Masechet Batra Daf Kuf Samach Het Amud Aleph 6 lines down. Amar Abaye Hay Tzum Rabbanan, because Chachamim don't really look at women. Young rabbis the Azilik to who are going to marry women. The Bedim Amaretz Bahadel should take an Amaretz with him, because that guy he'll notice if they switch her away, and he'll stop the rabbi from marrying the wrong woman, which is pretty crazy. It's exactly what happened in this week's parasha with Yaakov and Rachel and Leah. Okay, next part of the Mishnah said, "Babal notei zachar," the husband pays the sofer's fee for the marriage, the get. Sorry. My time, why the Damar Klapasuk says, "V'katav v'natan," he shall write, he shall give. It has to come from him. Va'ina nowadays, the law of din and hachi, the reason why we don't make the husband pay, shadu rabbanan the isha, the hachamim put it on the woman, ki so that we don't delay the get from happening. We don't want the woman to wait for the get, so let her pay for the get if that will speed things up. We also write a loan document for a borrower, even if the lender is not there. Shita, of course, the borrower is paying for the fee. He's the one who's benefiting. The Gemara says, "Lo tzricha v'aiska," even in a heter iska, a business proposition, that guy, even though they're both benefiting, the borrower still pays for it. And the buyer pays the fee by sales. Pshita, of course, the Gemara says, "Lo tzricha ki mocher sedim b'nei ra'ata," even if the guy is selling his field because it's bad quality, bad luck, and therefore you might think maybe he should make the document. No, the buyer still does it. And Kotvin Shari Yusin, the groom pays the fees of marriage. Shita, of course. Even if the Hatan is a Hamid Hacham and the father-in-law wants him for his daughter, still the groom pays for it. And Kotvin Shari you don't write documents of the sharecropper or the farming tenants. Tenant pays the sheep shita, of course. Even in the case where the land has to be fallow and not be planted, even if that guy doesn't receive any benefit, he still has to make the document. Next part, and kotvin shtere berurin. Let me not shtem. You don't write berurin, not for both. The Magar says, "My shtere berurin." What's documents of berurin? Hachat haragim shtere b'tanata. In Babel, they explained it as the documents which write down the arguments of each of the litigants. We see sneak peek into Masechet Nedarim, which is starting soon. It's the documenting of the choosing of the judges. Each litigant chooses one judge, and those two judges choose the third. Rashba Gomer, the Shneim Kotvin Shnaim, two documents for the two litigants, each one writes his own arguments on his own page. The more Safar Kovin, Omar Safar Lokin Kovin. Let's see. The machloket is basically, do you have the documents with the arguments written on the same document? Or do we write Reuven's arguments on one and Shimon's argument on another? So seemingly, it's maybe the Gemara wants to say it's machlokin whether or not you can force someone. I mean, that's Sidom. Sidom is if I don't lose and you don't lose, and you stand to gain, we can force you to do it if you're not losing. So seemingly over here, according to Tanakama holds that you could force people to do it and therefore you have to share the document. While Rashbag says no, you can't force, and therefore they could split the document. The Gemara says Latricha. No, none of that. The Kula Amma Kofin really you can force. The reason why Rashbag wants you to split it, the guy, each litigant doesn't want the other guy to have his arguments on it, because if he has the stenographer's notes in the entire case, he might study my arguments and verse his arguments, and he might do something that won the case. So keep it separate. New Mishnah. Someone paid part of his debt back, and he gives that document to the third party. So he owed borrowed $1,000, paid back 250. Hands the document to a third party and tells him, if I don't give you back, if I don't give the borrower, the lender, the rest of the money, from now until a certain day, you could give him back the document and he could recollect the whole debt. That time comes law Natan, you didn't pay back. What happens? Rabbi says you give it back. Rabbi Dam says you don't give it back. He did not mean for it to happen. My Gemara says, what's the machloka based off of? Rabbi Savar asmach takanya. Rabbi Savar asmach lokanya. Big machloka, we had this previously as well. Famous concept asmachta. Asmachta is a proposition or a deal that someone makes that he does not think that he has full intention of honoring it. So this type of case, he says, I'm giving you a document, I'm going to pay him back within 30 days. If I don't pay him back, you can hand it back to me, even though I paid back half of it. In his mind, nothing will stop him from not paying it back. If he has an accident and doesn't pay back, was that enough to make a kinyan? Did he mean it, or was it more like an exaggeration? So Rabbi holds it's a good acquisition, you give it back. Rabbi says no. That's not how that works. Kids look at who told them the halakha is like him, and Imam say, what should I do? If you're saying it's like him, it's like him. But what's the actual halakha? The halakha is not like Rabbi Yossi, and Asmachta is not koneh. New Mishnah. If your loan document got erased, Ma'amid Allah to bring witnesses who can testify to what was written on the document. They come before Bedin. They draw a validation document for that document. Ish Ploni ben Ploni this guy's document was erased. Ploni, it was written on that day. Uploni Ploni Dav, and he had two edim on that document. These were the names. What's the written on the certification? Right as follows. We were sitting in Bedin of three people. Reuven brought us his erased document. Biyom Ploni on Monday. Uploni Ploni Dav, and he had Shimon and Levi as witnesses. Bim Ketubot, written on that document. We investigated the original witnesses on that document, and it was good at testimony, you can use that replacement document to collect. You don't have to bring any other proof. But if not, to still bring a proof because that original loan was not undertaken certification. Nikra pasul, if a torn document is pasul, nitzkara kasher, if it's ripped, it's kasher. We'll explain what that means. Nilhak onish tatesh, if it's erased or stained, imri shimonikar, if it's still legible, kasher. So what's the difference between torn and ripped? Maravida, nikra kira shavadin. Torn means bedin ripped it up. Nikt kara kira she'inavadin. Ripped means a regular tear, not bedin. Hechidam mikra shavadin was mean bedin tore it up. Maravida, the tear goes through the place of the witnesses, the date, and the main in demographics of the case. That means bedin ripped it up because it's obviously invalid. Abaya Marbe says no, specifically Shativa if it was ripped in an X formation. Okay, I know Arabi that's some detail. There was the Arabs who came to Medina, the Havakon, so I know they were trying to force people to give up the lands. The owner of lands who were down the line who did not get captured yet, they came before Rabbi. They tell them, come see Rabbi, look at our deeds to our property. They told them, write a new one, another deed for this property for us. The because let's say they grab one deed. Then we'll have another one to grab our property back. Amrlo said, what can I do for you? You can't write two deeds for the same field. Because we're afraid that someone can sell it and then grab it back. They kept on bothering him. He told his sofer, go write the text on erased parchment and the witnesses on new parchment. De pasul, that document's pasul. So to satisfy them, to appease them, he said, okay, write a new document. But he told his sofer to write specifically the text on a erased document and the signatures on a new document, like new paper, and that way it'll be pasul and they can't use it. Who says that if they erase it, the first thing that they erase could still be eligible. We know that even if it was erased and you still read it, it's kasher. So what are you accomplishing by erasing it? Amar says no. I'm not telling the sofer to write the original document and then erasing that. Aleph bet ba'alma kamina. Write letters, aleph bet, all over the place. Erase that and then write it. Someone comes to Bedin and says, I lost my loan document. Even witnesses testify, we wrote the document and gave it to him. And you don't write a new one. Does that apply? Our loan documents. Regarding sale documents, you could write, or even replacements. But you don't write the guarantee on it. That guarantee doesn't transfer over to the new document. So if that guy had sold the property and he wants to use this sale property to collect, you don't have any more liens. You don't write it even for sales. That's what he used to say. Someone gives it to his friend, and the guy gives him back the document. The gift returns as well. So if I give a land to my friend as a gift and I give him the shtar document with it, he hands me back the document. Not only do I get back the document, but even the property goes back to me. Say no, the gift stays. You don't return that.